So very good afternoon to one and all attending this online session today. As you all are aware, we have progressed to the second week of this All India Council for Technical Education approved two-week faculty development program on approaches of engineering pedagogy to improve the quality of teaching in engineering education, which is organized by Ballapur Institute of Technology. We are pleased to introduce our honorable guest for this session, Dr. Maithili Paikane. Dr. Paikane is a professor of Department of Humanities in VNIT, that is Vishwesvaraya National Institute of Technology, Nagpur. She is doctorate in Indo-British literature. She is a gold medalist and first merit in MA English in the year 1999 and second topper at institute level in B.Ed examination of the year 2001. She has published two books and more than 25 papers in national and international journals. She is an approved PhD supervisor in English in RPM Nagpur University. She is also an interlocutor with aviation English language experts and aviation English trainers for air traffic controllers of Airport Authority of India since January 2016. She has to her credit received a grant of rupees 7,99,000 for the period of 2019 to 2022 from for AICT sponsored project on skill and personality development program for SC and ST students. Ma'am, it is an honor for us to have you as an expert speaker today. And personally, I would like to say that I have, personally witnessed this that students are usually a big fan of Maithili ma'am, and I have seen that she has always had this ability to strike a special connection with the students. So maybe today we will get to know her secret. And I will now request you, ma'am, to please start the session.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for such a wonderful introduction. It's been a great association with you while you were there in the college, and even it's my former institute where we worked together and we shared a very special bond. And we always came across the questions which were posed by the students. We have tried to solve their queries, and we have even provided counseling to them. You being a very renowned trainer and me being from the English fraternity, so it was like very good rapport we had with the students. So even like I take pride here in sharing with you all that even sir, he was the favorite teacher of the students, and both of us, we worked towards solving the problems of the students, and we were into the psychological counseling part also. So even the topic which I have taken today, because when I came across this invitation by sir, there was a big question mark that on which issue I should take up the discussion, or on which topic I should give you a presentation or address you all, because you all are faculty members, right? So it's always a task in front of us whenever when we think about the audience recognition and involvement, we have to think to whom we have to address. So it's always very easy to address the students, and the entire focus it shifts when we are addressing the teachers. Okay, so as a teacher, I have an experience of 20 years of teaching, and I have came to this conclusion that you have to understand the psychology of the students in order to enhance their performance. So when I got this invitation and I went through the topics, so I thought that it will be better to share my views on psychology. And I was involved in NAT committee preparations in NBA, and all the teachers who are working in reputed colleges, institutes, which are affiliated to different universities, they are given certain tasks, and they are made members of certain committees which look into the preparing materials, okay, and data, as well as whatever requirements are there, file preparation and all for presenting it while the committee comes for inspection. So the two most reputed ones, that is the NBA, National Board of Accreditation, and NAC accreditation. For that purpose, we need to show them that we are serious that how much efforts we have taken, for enhancing the skills of the student, because nowadays it's the skill based education. And therefore I chose this topic today for my presentation, that is, which I wanted to discuss you with all: understanding the psychology of the fast and the slow learners to design effective teaching strategies. Me being an English teacher, um, I deal with enhancing the communication skills of the students, to make them acquire a language in its entirety, to master all the four skills of language: LSRW, listening, speaking, reading, writing. But these are the basic skills which the student needs in order to understand not only English, but in order to understand the different subjects which are taught during the 4 years of engineering, or maybe the 3 years of, say, pursuing a degree, an undergraduate degree in, say, arts or commerce. Okay, so that is why the basic thing is, when the student he'll take admission in your institute, you must understand the psychology of the learner. Okay, and the committees, the inspection committees which come, the board of accreditation which come, the members which come, the learned members which are a part of the committee, they'll always ask you, what efforts have you taken for the fast and slow learners? Have you segregated them? Okay, is there a divide between a fast and slow learners? How do you identify them? Hmm? Do you understand their psychology as a teacher? Okay, and after understanding their psychology, what measures have you taken? What type of a diagnosis you have done of the learners? Okay, and what remedial measures did you frame, so that you were able to impart quality education to the learners? Okay, because the effective teaching strategies, the teaching methodology, the teaching pedagogy, it's going to change according to the different learners. So we must be able to understand, the teachers must be able to understand the psychology. Okay, so this is my topic of discussion with you all, and I'll be sharing whatever experience I had in these 20 years of my teaching career. So what is basically psychology? Psychology, it's the scientific study of the mind and behavior. And you cannot say that me being a teacher of mathematics, physics, chemistry, or say engineering, graphics, or say electronics faculty, why should I understand the psychology? Because I tell you that understanding psychology is very important, because you must know the background of the student, you must know the IQ level of the student, you must know what cognitive abilities he has. Does he belong to or does he possess lower cognitive abilities or higher cognitive abilities? Because on the basis of that, you are going to design the strategy. So no matter if you are a teacher of, say, science field, commerce field, or say arts or engineering field, but a teacher needs to understand the psychology of the learners. And that is why, like, generally graduates, teachers in arts and commerce field, they go for doing B.Ed and all. Okay, but engineers, they don't have any such subject. So in B.Ed we are specifically taught what is educational psychology, how you are going to apply the knowledge of educational psychology in understanding the students. Like Abhijit sir, he has told that I have a very good rapport with the students, and the students, they like me and they come to me to share their problems, because since 14 to 15 years I am even playing the role of a psychological counseling coordinator. I'm not a psychologist. I am a language teacher who works as a coordinator. I'm a bridge actually between the students who need psychological counseling and the psychologist. So every time, like, they came to me, they shared the problems with me, and see, these case studies, they are kept it as secret. So the students, they confide in me, they confide in the psychologist. Okay, and we lend them a helping hand, we lend them our ears, we share their problems. Okay, and we have this type of guardianship with the students, and that is why they feel comfortable in expressing whatever problems they have, in sharing their problems, be it say a family problem or relationship issues or coping up with the syllabus. Okay, and this helps us in coming out with a solution wherein the students, they are going to at least take a step, hmm, towards success. Okay, so that is the issue, and therefore I'm telling you that you don't think that I belong to this particular field and there is no need for me to understand the psychology. Okay, see, you don't have to conduct a separate class thinking about what cognitive abilities this particular student he has. Okay, in the process of teaching, gradually you will get to know, okay, this particular student is a fast learner, this particular student he needs some counseling, this student, say A, B, and C student. So A is good learner, B is a bright learner, C is a fast learner, D is an average learner. Okay, I need to work upon him. I need to give him certain, I need to counsel him, or I need to give him more examples, I need to give him writing work. Okay, I must make him read something, I must give him 10 reference books so that he'll be able to understand the whatever portion has been taught. Okay, so for that you don't need to conduct a separate psychology class. What you are supposed to do is you have to, through the teaching learning process, gradually you will need, you will understand the psychology of the student. So what is psychology? Basically scientific study of mind and behavior. Okay, the mind of the student, the receptive abilities, the cognitive skills, presence of mind, okay, understanding, sense of responsibility, these are certain faculties of mind. Okay, and why does a person behaves in this particular way, that is the subject matter. Okay, why is the student not paying attention in my class? Why is the student so much interested in the some other teacher's class? Okay, why is that teacher, or what design, or what technology, or maybe what strategy that teacher is applying in her class? Why am I saying technology? Because teachers should use ICT tools also. That is also one of the criteria which we have to project it in front of the committee. Okay, so you must understand the behavior. Why is the student, what are the reasons for the student's absenteeism? Okay, so when we study this, when we study the mind and the behavior of the student, it is a branch of psychology. We are applying psychology. My next slide is about that, about what is education and what is educational psychology. We have actually been taught this. We had a special subject, this educational psychology, during our B.Ed, and therefore also it makes the study all the more interesting, because the subjects are your students. Okay, you have to study them. Hmm? American Psychological Association, see on the screen, it states that psychology is a multifaceted discipline and includes many subfields of study. Okay, for example, you can study the teenage psychology also, because generally we as teachers, we deal with the teenagers. So many a times teachers, they come to me, they say that this particular student is so rude, he's so adamant. Okay, he doesn't behave properly in the class, and he gives back answers. Okay, so most of the times what happens, we as teachers, we fail to understand the teenage psychology. You must have this in your mind, that the audience, that is the students, who are also the stakeholders, okay, of our system. So am I understanding this person, or do I know his psychology? Okay, so you give a thought to it, and try to understand the teenage psychology also on Google, or you can do certain courses on psychology of 3 to 4 hours also. The duration is also less. I'll come to that. I can even give you the one course I myself, I did it during the lockdown period, that was on psychology. Okay, so psychologist, what does it say? American Psychological Association, it's basically a multifaceted discipline and it includes many subfields of the study. Then areas, what are the areas there? Human development, sports, health, clinical, social behavior, cognitive processes are dealt in the study of psychology. Here, basically, the teacher, the takeaway is from this particular slide is that I have to understand the mind and the behavior of my student. Okay, and I am telling you that you will be able to understand it gradually as the time passes by. Maybe say we are starting with generally the academic sessions for first year engineering. It started from 1st August. Okay, now because of COVID-19 pandemic, the entire situation has changed, and now maybe from 1st November it will start. So even in VNIT, we are like there's a planning that it will start from 1st November. Okay, so what happens is when the student he starts appearing, or he starts attending the classes, he joins the institute and he starts attending the classes. So in the very first lecture or second or third, you might not able to understand his behavior, neither his IQ level, okay, his mental age, his mental faculties. Okay, so it will take time. And the best period is observation till the time your first examination is conducted. So for example, if there are 6 units in a particular subject, you have taught them first unit. So after completion of first unit, you take their examination, let them appear, so that you will get to know whether the person, the student is receptive, is his memory retentive, okay, what IQ level he has, okay, is he brilliant, or how he will be categorized as. So this categorization as fast and slow learner, it will come after appearing in the examination. Okay, so this understanding the psychology, it will take place gradually. And after the first examination is over, you will be able to give a full stop to this particular quest of yours. That is okay. My quest, my search to identify the fast and the slow learners, it is over, because I have understood the psychology, because I have understood the mind and the behavior of the student. Okay, so this is the takeaway, that is understanding the study of mind and behavior of my student. Now, what is education? Education, we all know the famous definition given by Swami Vivekananda, that it is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. We already have it. What the teacher has to do is, the teacher has to perfect it. Okay, so according to Adams, education is the conscious and deliberate process. The teacher is consciously and deliberately involved in a process in which one personality will act upon another. Which personality? The teacher's personality is acting upon the personality of the student in order to in order to modify, to change, to bring about a change in the development of the other. Who is the other here? Other is the student. So the teacher is modifying the development of the student by communication and by manipulation of knowledge. Okay, so basically what happens is that it's a conscious and a deliberate process wherein the teacher is using different strategies to make the teaching learning process to change, to bring about a modifications in the pedagogy. Okay, so that the teaching learning process will become effective. Okay, now we have understood what is psychology, what is education. Next is what role of educational psychology. But before that, what is educational psychology? Educational psychology. Sir, are you changing the slides? Abhijit,
Yes, we
sir?
are changing slides.
Actually,
Right
what
now
I
we are
did,
on role of
some,
education psychology.
yeah, what I have done certain changes in my this slide, which I downloaded on my PPT. Okay,
Okay.
so you can change it accordingly. Okay.
Okay.
So what is educational psychology basically? The one I told you, that during the B.Ed itself, we are taught about educational psychology. We must understand, we must apply. It's basically application of psychological facts and principles. Psychological facts and principle in the field of education. Okay, so it is that branch of psychology which is concerned with the scientific study of human learning. How much time a particular individual needs to grasp a particular thing. Okay, so is he a quick learner? Is it a bright learner? So what we are doing, whatever knowledge through the field of psychology we have gained, we are applying it in the educational field. That is the subject matter of educational psychology. What does it involve? It involves the study of memory, because the students, they must have a retentive memory. So there are certain laws of improving memory. The teacher must be in a position to tell them that there are 3 laws of improving memory. Do you know them as a teacher? That is association, impression, and repetition. What the teachers generally do, the school level teachers, they go in, they tell the students to go for rote memory. Hmm? That is repetition. Like for example, if we talk about school prayers, even now, after attaining the age of 30, 35, 25, whatsoever your age may be, we are able to uh, recite, okay, say maybe the school prayer, okay, or the school songs which were there, because of the rote learning, because of the repetition. So teacher must understand that what type of memory laws should I apply, hmm, for a particular student. Impression, association, and repetition. So field of educational psychology will involve the study of memory. The teacher must improve the, or tell the students the laws of improving memory. Okay, conceptual processes and individual differences via cognitive psychology, understanding their mind. Hmm? Understanding why this student he behaves like that, why is this student not receptive to new ideas. Okay, does he keep an open mind? Is his mind locked? Is he mentally not present in the class, only physically he is there? That is understanding the psychology. And then you have to conceptualize new strategies for learning processes in human. So educational psychology will always be of a great help to the teachers, in conceptualizing new strategies, new ideas, new ways of imparting education, okay, for enhancing the teaching learning processes in the human. So that is the educational psychology. Now, why is it important? Okay, see, I have already told you my topic is understanding the psychology of slow and fast learners. And after understanding them, we have to design certain strategies for enhancing the teaching learning process. Okay, so what is the importance of educational psychology? The cultural aim is attitude, goals, ideas, and values. They need to be defined, they need to be understood. Okay, and professional aim of educational psychology is to develop the teaching skills, because if we understand the psychology of learners, we will be able to um, design effective teaching modes, okay, the effective teaching strategies. Then we will be able to use the ICT tools. Okay, so for that it is the need of the hour, okay, to understand the psychology of learners. Significance of psychology to classroom teacher. What is the significance? What is the importance? Why is it important for a teacher to understand the psychology? It is required to understand the learner, to understand the problem of the children. You never know from which background they come. Is Do they come from a very good family, good surrounding, or is it that there is some problems related to the family, economical issues, maybe family disorganization, a drunkard father, okay, alcoholism problem. You must understand the problem of the child also, to understand the learning process. Educational, this is the importance of educational psychology, to understand the characteristics in different developmental stages. Okay, then to select the method of teaching. This we are going to discuss at length. Okay, what methods of teaching I should apply for slow learners and for fast learners, to create conducive learning environment. It shouldn't be a very strict learning environment. Give a scope to the students for learning to take place. Learning by doing, that should be the mantra. To make socialization in classroom, because we all are social beings. Okay, we cannot stay in isolation. We have to socialize. The students, they must make friends with the classmate. Okay, to maintain discipline, to enable teachers for curriculum development. So psychology, educational psychology, it enables the teachers for developing curriculum, and this we all are aware that every year at least 10% or 5% of the syllabus, it must change, though it doesn't happen in the universities, but still it is required so that we can keep a pace with the changing times. Okay, to render guidance service. So if the teacher has the knowledge of psychology, he or she can render guidance service, guide the students. Okay, to know the teacher himself, you can understand yourself also. Do self introspection. Why and where do I lack as a teacher? Am I a good teacher? If not, why? What are my lacunas? Okay, you can even take help of your fellow teachers, your colleagues whom you trust. So ask them to observe your class. Okay, let them come into your class during your lecture. Or just simply tell them that you be an observer. So by observation also, by a participant observer, the other teacher can give you a valuable feedback, and tell them not to be biased, because when friendship comes, biasness creeps in. So you have to tell the teacher, do a critical evaluation. So know that the teacher, educational psychology helps the teacher to understand himself or herself by doing introspection. Okay, so you have to work. Like for example, if I'm writing on the board, and I myself know that it's not a legible handwriting, isn't it my duty to work on my handwriting rather than preaching them? I have to practice it myself. Okay, so the teacher must know himself or herself through self introspection. Okay, and to conduct the research. So educational psychology is also important to conduct the research. Okay, so this is the importance of educational psychology. Now, after understanding what is psychology, what is educational psychology, we come to this point of who are the fast learners and who are the slow learners. Okay, okay, so as I told you, whenever the committee comes, you have to face them. Hmm? At that time, we all are tensed. Okay, that we don't know what type of a psychology the examiner he has. Okay, and how we are going to face that particular person fearlessly. But when will you be in a position to face the person fearlessly? Or when will you be able to replace that fear by courage? Only when you are actually implementing whatever strategies you have planned in the classroom. Okay, it cannot be only on the paper. What you have to do is you have to apply the methodology which you have planned for the fast and slow learners, because then you will be in a position to defend yourself. Hmm? the fear factor, it will be overcome by the courage. Okay, so the best, the first and the foremost thing is try to identify between the fast and the slow learners. So generally the committee members who come in the NAC and the NBA, they ask you that, okay, as a faculty, how did you segregate the fast learners from the slow learners? How did you identify those? Okay, so you must be in a position to tell them what are the different strategies which you are uniformly applying for all the branches, not only say the first year, but say chemical department, electronics department, metallurgy, mining, whatever the different departments you have. Okay, so are you applying a uniform strategy, for all the learners who are there in the college? Say 2000 students are there, so is the policy, the academic policy, same for all? So the dean academics has the responsibility, of telling the teachers how to identify the slow and the fast learners. But after being told by the dean, it is the entire responsibility of the teachers to do the identification in their class. Because see, a student, as an English teacher, this is my experience, that a student who is good in language, hmm, does not score good marks in mathematics. This is our observation. There are variations, okay, but still, maximum students, like say 60% students, if they are good in English, they'll be weak in chemistry, physics, or maths. So the strategy, the teaching strategy, it will differ for these students. Okay, the maths teacher will have to give more problems. The maths teacher will have to devote more time, so that the student will be able to understand the problem. Okay, but the English teacher won't have to take that much efforts. That is why there should be a uniform policy in the college for identification of fast and slow learners. Who are the fast learners? And see, whatever I'm discussing today with you all, it will be very useful for you while facing the committee members, because I've done that myself. I was a first year coordinator in my previous college in Priyadarshini Institute of Engineering and Technology, and being the coordinator, we had to face the committee members, wherein they asked me, what strategies did you employ for identifying the fast and slow learners? What have you done for the fast learners? What have you done for the slow learners, so that they can overcome their hesitation, their inhibitions? Okay, and the 4 years which they have got, will they be able to develop themselves, their personality? Okay, will they be able to gain knowledge? What conducive atmosphere are you providing them? Okay, so this is very, very important. So for that, we have to identify the fast learners. Who are the fast learners? People who learn lessons, topics, or concepts at a faster rate, who possess keen intellectual discernment and a strong practical sense. So they are the people with high cognitive skills, good intelligence. Okay, and these can be categorized as bright learners also. So when the teacher will come into the class will comprise of students who will be from different surroundings, and different intellect they'll possess. So few will be bright learners, few will be fast learners, slow learners, quick learners, above average, below average, excellent learners. Okay, so the teacher first, when she gets or he gets a class of 60 students, the teacher's responsibility is to identify the students who are the fast learners, the ones who are able to give the answers, and you can have a question answer session. So gradually, as I told you, you will be able to identify them. They'll be quick, they'll be able to give prompt answers, they'll be able to understand the concepts, whatever assignments you will give them, they'll complete it. And after that, they'll do thorough reading. They'll be able to learn the lessons, the topics by heart at a very faster rate. Okay, so that is why these fast learners, now they are susceptible to boredom. They get bored quickly because the teacher has to cater to the needs of all the learners, fast as well as the slow. But what happens is the fast learners, they get bored. They are susceptible to boredom, I said, because they complete the task very promptly, very quickly. Okay, so fast learners, they learn a specific unit or a concept very quickly. And they have keen intellectual discernment and a strong practical sense. Okay, you have to give them challenges, you have to enrich their knowledge by giving them challenges. Now, who is a slow learner? Slow learners are not non-learners. First of all, the teacher, whenever categorizing the students, you don't have to categorize them directly. Okay, don't tell them you are a slow learner or you are a fast learner, you are brilliant, he is a dumbo. Don't do that. Okay, you have to boost the morale of the student. Hmm? Not every learner is going to be a fast learner. So what happens is, identify the slow learner, but don't categorize him as a non-learner. Slow learners are not non-learners. They are learners. They are trying their level best to comprehend, to understand, to learn. Okay, so you have to motivate them. Motivate the slow learners. They must be taught, and they so want to learn and succeed. Okay, they also want to become successful in life. They also want to learn new concept, but the thing is, they are learning it slowly as compared to the fast learners. A few adjustments in their learning process can make a big difference. Okay, so you have to understand them, you have to understand their psychology, you have to motivate them. You must know the reason behind their slow learner. Why this particular student is a slow learner? What are the reasons? Is it certain, is it something to do with the physiology, that is the body, the mental, the IQ level, or are there some external factors which are hindering the process of learning? Okay, so a few adjustments in their learning process will make a big difference. So I think so, if you must have watched Hitchki movie, you will be able to understand my point of view. The efforts taken by Rani Mukherjee, you watch that movie and you will be able to understand that those students on whom she worked, they all came from the slum area. Okay, their background, you have to understand. She could understand the psychology of the learners. Why were they slow? There was no issue of intellectual ability, intellectual quotient. There was a problem of the surroundings or their background, to which they belong, economical background. Okay, now we come to the behavioral characteristics of fast learners. Behavioral characteristics of fast learners are, they can become perfectionist. They can become perfectionist. They have it in them. It's already in them. You have to give them challenges. You have to give them quiz. You have to give them certain things which are going to trigger their thinking process. Okay, so that they'll come up with good ideas. They'll come up with the solutions. And in due course of time, they become perfectionists. The characteristics is, they are success oriented. They tend to avoid something where failure is a possibility. Okay, they have a keen sense of humor. They love absurdities, jokes, pranks. Why? Because they are able to understand it. Na? Until and unless you won't understand, you won't be in a position to laugh on a joke. Okay, so it will become problematic for you to understand a particular joke if you don't have that intellect. Okay, or not the intellect, if you don't have that much understanding. Okay, if you're not able to understand the humor. They can have poor social acceptance by age peers. Why poor social acceptance? Because, like, okay, maybe this particular student has an attitude due to his IQ level. Okay, listen to only, just one sec. Yeah, they listen to only part of the explanation, appears to have low concentration. Low concentration, that's because maybe they already know They are already familiar with the topics, or maybe they have an idea, they are well read. So it's a behavioral characteristic. That is why I'm telling you that the teachers must understand the behavior of the students. Okay, so these are the behavioral characteristics of fast learners. So the teacher must know that, okay, this particular student is a fast learner, so maybe he won't be able to concentrate that much. Okay, appears to have low concentration, shows dislike and boredom for repetition. I told you they are quick learners, and that is why they easily get bored. And they can show a dislike. Like, for example, teachers who are teaching to 12th standard, generally they face this issue. That's because what happens, the learners, they are already the fast learners, they have already learned the particular topic. He is aware of the concept, he knows everything from A to Z, about the concept, and therefore this particular student, the fast learner, he is not attentive in the class. Okay, the fast learner is, he dislikes, he doesn't like, he gets bored easily. Okay, now, characteristics of fast learners, these are gifted learners. These are gifted learners. They rank high in academic achievement, and they cover a wide ground within a limited period of time. So once the teacher has identified the fast learner, they know that, okay, this person is going to bring laurels to the institute. He or she will be able to carve a name of himself as well as the institute, because he'll be able to acquire a good rank in the university examination. Okay, high academic achievements. So you have to tap their intellectual energy. Okay, and these students, they cover a wide ground within a limited period of time. So they are knowledgeable, they exercise a knowledge power, over their peers, over their teachers also at times. Okay, they are fast thinking, highly creative and imaginative, with very high constructive abilities. You can't challenge them. And at times, even the teachers, they must appreciate the knowledge power which these students, they possess. Because they are quick learners, they are into reading, they are into understanding the things. Okay, so they are blessed. And even if they are not blessed, if certain people, they are students, they don't have that much, like they are not born with a great intellect, they enhance their cognitive abilities by reading. Okay, by their perseverance, by their dedication. So even you can, if you take time to understand a particular thing or comprehend, it's always better that don't give up your efforts to become a fast learner. A slow learner can always become a fast learner by consistent efforts, by reading, by being dedicated. Okay, they are fast thinkers, highly creative people, and imaginative with very high constructive abilities. See, it need not be that there will be a drastic change from a slow learner to the fast learner, but at least through consistent efforts, he can manage to score good marks. Okay, come at par. Where scoring marks in the university examination is concerned. Okay, because you need not be creative. A slow learner maybe is a great, like he has creative abilities, he is good in painting, but is not good in studies. Like here, why I'm talking about fast and slow learners, to so that the students are able to score good marks. Okay, but in case of say music or an art teacher, if that teacher is going to distinguish between a fast and a slow learner, the criteria will be creativity. That particular student will be judged on his creative skills. Okay, so again, it is going to vary from subject to subject. Like in engineering graphics, or say in electronics, the division of fast and slow learners, the individual teacher will have to do. Okay, I'll just drink water. so far now, we have understood the characteristics, the behavioral pattern of the fast learners, right? Now it's about the slow learners. Now I'll completely focus on the slow learners, how we are going to identify them, their behavior, their mind, okay? And then slow learners, who are actually the slow learners, and what format, like whatever format we had used, I'll share those with you. Okay. Now, slow learners are those who do not learn successfully due to general socio-cultural problems, frustrating past classroom experiences, and inadequate use of strategies or lack of interest. Are those, why are they not able to learn? Maybe because of the socio-cultural problems. I told you there can be n number of issues which are related to bad performance, poor performance rather. Bad is not an appropriate word. Poor performance in the classroom, okay, or in the examination. So it's basically because of the socio-cultural problems, frustrating past classroom experiences. Like teachers, they generally utter words, disgraceful words, okay, or maybe words which get stuck to the mind of the students, okay, and which the demotivating words, which results in very bad experience for the classroom experience for a particular student. That is, maybe he came across scolding by the teacher in front of the entire class. Maybe like the corporal punishment he got. Nowadays it's the corporal punishment is not acceptable in the schools, neither at the college level, okay. But in case the teacher gave corporal punishment in front of the entire class, again this will result in a frustrating past classroom experience, which is going to demotivate the student, okay. Then inadequate use of strategies by the teachers, or lack of interest. So this is why the student, he comes under a slow learner, okay. Now, learning disabled students are formally diagnosed as learning disabled by the specialist in child psychology. Not only in child psychology, even in teenage psychology. These are the students with learning disabilities, okay. And then there can be n number of reasons which can be cited, for the learning disability, okay. What are the issues? Identifying the issues of slow learners. What issues do these people they face, okay? Biological problems, like maybe at the time of birth there were certain issues which the doctors couldn't handle, and that is why maybe the child who was born, he suffered from some, say, head injury, brain injury, okay. Any problems can crop up. So at the time of birth, if there has been a certain issue which led to this lower cognitive abilities, that is also, that can also be a case, okay. So biological problem. Family disorganization, like I told you, if there is a problem of, say, parent separation, or say family disorganization, separation of parents, or maybe say a drunkard father, problem of alcoholism, uh, sibling rivalry, which I have already stated, okay, that there is a competition, continuous competition going on between two siblings, that look at him, he is scoring so he is progressing in his study, he is scoring such good marks, and look at you, okay. So this comparison with the peers, comparison with the siblings, the family pressure, I've mentioned it, societal pressure to succeed in this cutthroat competition. All these are the issues of the slow learners. Why? Because they are not able to cope up, with this pressure. They are not able to think that maybe if this pressure is taken positively, it can bring wonders in his or her life. Okay, because see, every one of us, like there's a saying that the only a dead body is the only one without any stress, because there's no thinking. So whosoever the living beings, they are every day they come across some or the other stress. Okay, but how you deal with that stress, okay, it matters a lot. Because if you are dealing with the stress positively, if these slow learners they deal, or if the teachers tell the slow learners to deal with the pressure positively, to deal with the stress positively, it can bring about a great results. Okay, it can bring about a sea change in their personality, it can improve their results, it can improve their performance. Okay, so the teacher must identify the issue of slow learners. So see, this is for all the faculty members who are like attending this session, that try to understand what is the issue, why this particular student is not performing well in my class. Okay, so you will get the answer that okay, maybe this is the issue, that he belongs to a family wherein there is uh, such a problem. Okay, maybe he is dealing with a drunkard father. Okay, or maybe there are some issues related to the family. All these things you will have to know your student well, understand the issues of the student. Okay, then is family pressure, the societal pressure to succeed, economic issues. These problems they hinder the process of teaching and learning, because what happens is, because of economic issues, most of the times the students they remain absent, and absenteeism hmm, leads to n number of problems. Because absenteeism, if the students they are present in the class, at least something will go to their head while the teacher is teaching in the class, or if the teaching is using ICT tools. So what will happen is, maybe if the teacher is showing a PPT, at least the visual this thing effect, it will be there, the impression of a site or of a slide, it will be a permanent mark on their brain, it can create it. Okay, so the student will be able to recall, this was the thing which was discussed by the teacher. I can recall the image, I can recall the problems which were stated. I can recall what the teacher taught me that day. Okay, so what happens is basically that when you think about these things, about these issues of the slow learners, you can come up with the strategy. Okay, so economical issues is try to understand them, try to make the students overcome their problems and attend the class. Okay, like I told you that because of economical issues, absenteeism will be on rise. So when the absenteeism is on the rise, the student is not aware of whatever is going in the class. So whenever the student is in the class, attending the classes with concentration, is looking at the PPT, the knowledge it gets stuck to the brain, and then he performs well in the examination. But in case of continuous absenteeism, if a student is regularly irregular, what happens is he gets categorized, he gets a place in the category of slow learners. Okay, so the teacher must understand what is the issue. Is it an economical issue? Does he come by a bus? Or does he have a petrol partner with him? So if the petrol partner remains absent, even this particular student has to bunk the class. Or maybe continuously the teachers, we ping them that you have to deposit the fees, you have to credit the fees. The teachers nowadays, they are doing multitasking, not only teaching, they have to do the administrative work, the cleric work, every, like all sorts of works the teacher are involved in. Okay, so if you are into a private organization, you are flooded with tasks. Okay, you are flooded with n number of things, n number of these things, assignments they'll give you. and in form of work, I'm telling you, which you have to accomplish, which you have to do. Okay, so you have to be on your toes. And that is why what happens is that even like our approach, it changes. Okay, so don't just change that particular thing. So when you are ringing someone that you have to pay the fees of your ward, okay, even this you will have to do as a teacher. Hmm? Try to establish a rapport with the parents, try to understand them. Okay, you have to play the role of a teacher, you have to be faithful to your organization, but at the same time you have to be considerate enough to understand the problem of the students. Okay, so understand the economical issue, think whether the economical issue is coming in the way of learning, how far the economic issue is destroying the process of teaching and learning. Is it that because of economical issues at his place, the student is not able to concentrate on the studies? Okay, so economical issues, health issues, and low IQ level, intelligent quotient. Okay, that is mental age upon actual age into 100. If you apply that formula, you will get the IQ level. You need not apply it for all the students. You will come across, what you have to do is, like I told you, gradually you will be able to understand. Like, okay, in my subject, if I'm teaching physics, the student has scored 20 out of 20. I know he's a fast learner, he's able to understand. He's giving answers also in the classroom. Okay, so that is why even though maybe he may also suffer from health issues, but he is taking it positively. He's keeping that particular problem aside and concentrating on the studies. Okay, or maybe his IQ level is very good. That is for the fast learner. Okay, now health issues, if the student is suffering from any type of an ailment, it can be like, I had few students in my first year who were suffering from kidney stone, stones in both the kidneys. Okay, or maybe there were certain other issues also, migraine and all other issues, or maybe some issues which required surgery. So due to health issues also, the students, they come under slow learner. Because see, in categorizing slow and fast learner, the only thing which we rely on, the teachers, they rely on, is the performance in the test. Okay, how much they score in the test. On the basis of that, how much they perform in oral communication. We divide the students on the basis of this. Okay, that is why we are categorizing them as fast and slow learners. And what we are doing is, after categorizing them, we are identifying the issue. What led this particular student to become a slow learner? What led this particular student to become a fast learner? Okay, so you have to do this, and that is the diagnosis. Like, if you go to the doctor, he's going to diagnose, he'll see what problem you have, and on the basis of that, the medication will be given. Same thing we have to do as teachers. We have to diagnose, and then we have to say, we have to come to a conclusion that what medicine will I give to the slow learner, what will I give, and to the fast learner, I'll enrich the fast learner. And I'll equip the slow learner with the knowledge. Okay, so that I have to decide what will be my contribution in making the slow learner get good marks in the examination, as well as his or her overall development. Okay, so health issues and then the lower IQ level. You'll get to know this gradually while you will be engaging the classes. So a teacher has 1 hour. Generally, the lectures are of 1 hour. So it's a good time wherein you can, sufficient time to understand the psychology of the students, to understand their IQ level, to understand their receptive skills, their cognitive abilities. Okay. Now, once you have identified the issues of slow learners, there are certain strategies which the teacher is going to apply for developing study material for the slow learners. Sorry. Sir, are you sharing the screen? Yes. Is the same slide being shared?
Yes, ma'am. Right now we are on strategies for slow learners. We have just
Yeah.
started. This is the first slide for strategies for slow learners.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Thank
says
you.
remedial or extra classes should be conducted that complete.
Yeah, yes. So once you have identified the slow learner, what you have to do is conduct extra classes for them, remedial classes for them. First, I'll tell you how to segregate. Then I'll come to this point. Like I told you that the teacher is going to conduct the test after completion of one particular unit. Okay. In again, that will depend on the teacher. If you think that mine is a maths subject, and I think so that I should assess, continuous assessment techniques should be adopted by the teacher. Okay, only if you are doing continuous assessment, then you will be able to categorize the student. So maybe a continuous assessment, it will again vary from subject to subject, teacher to teacher. Okay, so if I think that this particular student, no, I need to take test for the entire class after completion of one concept in mathematics. So after maybe teaching them differential mathematics or whatever this you have concepts you have, differential equations and all, I'll conduct a test. Okay, and during my teaching learning process, when actual classroom activity is being conducted by me as a teacher, I'm going to ask them questions. Maybe when I start the lecture, I can question them for 5 minutes, or 5 minutes exclusively, I can keep it at the end. Hmm? Say after 50 minutes, if the lecture is of 1 hour. And in those 10 minutes, I'll get to learn who is answering my question. I'll note it down. And um, few days what you do is you ask them, and randomly whosoever is interested will get up and give the answer. Okay, and second thing you can do is you can call the roll numbers and ask questions to those particular students, so you'll get to know whether he was attentive or not, whether he was daydreaming, just physically present and mentally roaming elsewhere, or maybe he was physically and mentally present but he was not able to comprehend or was not able to understand the formulae. Okay, so first you will try to identify the slow learners. Okay, and then after taking the test, you will get to know who has scored 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, sorry, 5 out of 10, 3 out of 10. And you can make a arrow format for them. This is the strategy we have been applying, but I tell you that the teacher's role is very, very important in this. Okay, I'll come to the strategies just after this slide. Sir, you please share this particular slide. Format for improvement of result. Have you shared this? Then we'll get back to the previous one.
Yes, ma'am. We're on format for improvement of results.
Yeah.
In the
Yes, format for yeah, so you can provide this format to them, and you can categorize it as an arrow format also. Okay, so in arrow format, generally what happens is, see the score out of 10 in the test. This is format for improvement of result. That is after completion of one unit, I conducted a test, and the teachers, they'll be provided this format. I told you by Dean Academics, it can come through the higher channel. Okay, so subject, unit, teacher, and the section. And then roll number and name of the student, how much the student has scored out of 10 in the test. So out of 10, if the student has scored 6, you have to think that, okay, 60% and above, I will categorize the student as a fast learner. And if he is below 5 or say below 4, below 50%, okay, I'll categorize him as slow learners. Again, there will be an uniformity in this. So how much did he score? So if, for example, roll number 1 has scored 6 marks, I have categorized that person as a fast learner. Therefore, I didn't take retest 1 and retest 2. Okay, so what I have done is I'm identifying the student as fast and slow learners based on their score in a particular test conducted by me after completion of a concept, or maybe after completion of a particular unit. So if there are 6 units in physics, I'll conduct a test after unit 1. Hmm? Or if you wish to, this teacher is doing at the individual level, I'm telling you. If you have been told by the management, by the dean academics, by the policy framers in the college, that after conducting a test, internal assessment, we have continuous internal assessment, CIA, which takes place in the college. Okay, so there are certain tests on which you are going to give the internal assessment marks also. So generally there are 2 tests in a semester. So unit test 1, unit test 2, sessional, and then the final exam, the university exam they appear. So they give 3 exams, and then even the students, they are categorized on the basis of the assignments submitted by them. Because see, many a time students, they come up with creative assignments. Okay, we'll keep that part aside as of now. We'll concentrate on the test part. So if the teacher is if the higher ups are telling you that all of you, all the teachers have to submit um, the score sheet of the students in first unit test, and on the basis of the first unit test, like we call it CAT, continuous assessment test 1, CAT 2, continuous assessment test 2, sessional exam, and after that will be the university exam. So in CAT 1, it will comprise of unit 1 and 2 if there are 4 units in a subject. Okay, and CAT 2 will comprise of 2 units. So what the teacher has to do, has to segregate unit 1 and unit 2. So in unit 2, if 20 marks question paper I am giving to the student, 10 marks are on unit 2, 10 are on unit 1. So in unit 1, my objective is that the student should score minimum 6 marks to be categorized as a fast learner. But if he or she scores less than 6 marks, he'll be categorized as a slow learner. Okay, so this is the uniform policy which is uh, given by the higher ups, that is the deans, the principal, or say the administration. And the teachers, they have to follow that strategy to identify them. Okay, and once we do this identification, then we can come up with the classes scheme, that is extra remedial classes and all. So now over here, look at the table. 6 the person has scored. Now I have conducted 2 tests, retest 1 and 2. My objective is to make the person learn the unit in its entirety. If I'm going to ask a question, he must be in a position to give answer of that question from that particular unit. So 6, okay, the student will score good marks in future. Okay, no problem. 7, 70% out of 10. Now 3, there is actually a small block, but it is arrow. Okay, it's actually an arrow. So what I did it is 3, the student who has scored 3, I will take retest 1. It is showing improvement 5. Then again I'll take retest 2, because even 5 is a slow learner for me. Then I'll take test, and this person will come under 7. So slowly it is going to increase. This is the arrow format. Arrow. 1 was scored by the student, it showed improvement 4, and then 6. 0, 5, 6, 8, 9, 9, they are fast learners. So what I have to do, I am doing this diagnosis. This is actually diagnosis, and taking their retest 1 and 2 is the remedy. It is the solution for improving their performance. What is the solution? I'm taking their test again and again. Do it twice. Okay. So what will happen is there will be a gradual improvement in the result. Okay. So this is the arrow format which you have to apply. Okay. Next is slow learner continuous assessment. Name of the subject, year, semester, teacher, and section. So again, the individual teacher will maintain this format. Okay, it will be roll number, name of the student, the performance in CAT 1, performance in recat 1. See, now when the committee will come now, you will have to show them the proof. You will have to show them the format which you have used for them, how you identified them, how you categorized them, what efforts you took for them. Okay, so I'll just tell you that after you do this type of an exercise, and after conducting the cat 1 examination, you segregate the students on the basis of their performance. Once you do that, the second thing you have to do is form a separate class for the slow learners. Okay, now here the teachers will face a lot of problem. Hmm? Actually, it was a really a very emotionally taxing thing for me when I came up with this, that I have to now actually divide the class of slow and fast learners, because what we did is we formed a separate section G. We already had A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so we had to form a section G. Now, what happens is here you have to deal with the trauma which the students will face, the emotional problems the students will come across, and even the teacher. I couldn't sleep the whole night. That's because I was thinking that tomorrow when I'll announce this, that these students are categorized as G section students. How to deal with their emotions. So here in the role of psychologist comes in. Okay, the you can we had good psychological counselors. Even Abhijit sir is aware of that. So what happens is the psychological counseling will a counselor will give them a take counseling sessions for them. Okay, that I come to this point later on. First year it is, after the first test is conducted, you categorize the student. You identify that, okay, if this student has scored 5 marks and even after taking repetitive tests, there are no improvement, because see, here I've shown you gradual improvement. It can be 1, 0, 0. It can be 3, 2, 1. Even that can happen. Hmm? So maybe the student, he was a slow learner, maybe due to unfair means, or maybe by cheating, or maybe by luck, he could strike a right answer. Hmm? But in the second and the third test, he couldn't fare well. He couldn't score well. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to separate these two categories of students, because what I have to do, I cannot have a teaching strategy which will be same for the intellectual brilliant students and the slow learner. Because when I enter the class, if I have a class with full of fast learners, with fast learner students, then I can give them challenging questions, I can give them tasks which is going to trigger their mind. Okay. And if I enter a class wherein the students are slow learners, I can focus on one particular concept until and unless they don't understand that, they don't revise it, they are not able to give answers hmm, related to they are not able to give proper answers. Okay, so I can take their revision, I can do rote learning from them. I can make them master that particular topic, and then I have to move ahead. So the teaching strategy will be different for the fast and the slow learner. Okay, so this particular arrow format, it will help me in deciding the strategy which I am going to use for the slow learner. Okay. Now comes this particular format of slow learner continuous assessment. How did I do it? This actually takes place after the university exam is over and the results are declared. Okay. So what happens is, how the teacher categorizes them, how the teacher identifies on the basis of performance. Second, a separate section for the slow learner is formed. Okay, now we what we are supposed to do is, we must employ teachers who are rich in experience, teaching experience, who are working as moderators in university, as valuers in university, who know like what type of technique is to be employed by the students, so that they can score good marks, how the students are going to master a particular subject. Okay, that is why generally senior teachers, they must be given the classes of slow learner students. Okay, This is the sheet which I am sharing with you. Slow learner continuous assessment year semester. Subject, teacher, section, subject. Roll number. Name of the student. Performance in CAT 1. Continuous assessment test 1. How much did he score? Performance in RECAT. See, the committee members will ask you, show us the sample of RECAT. If you are saying here that this student he scored 3 marks and in the recat he has scored 6 marks, show it to us. Hmm? Performance in cat 2, performance in recat 2, okay, performance in sessional exam and performance in university exam. Okay, so if the teacher is putting in untiring efforts for the betterment of the performance of slow learners, there will always be an increase in the percentage, increase in the marks. Okay, because the teacher has identified the cause, the teacher has sent that particular student for, say, psychological counseling. Okay, and on the basis of the remedies suggested by the psychologist, on the basis of the remedies which the teacher has taught will be appropriate for that particular student. They have created wonders. They have made the student learn a topic and score good marks in it. Okay, so this is the format. Okay, now we'll come over here. Sir, please share that strategies for slow learners. We have identified them, we have categorized them on the basis of arrow format and on the basis of their performance in the continuous assessment test. I told you that it will again differ from teacher to teacher. Like for example, I'm an English teacher. If I want to know that whether the student is good in English, I'll give them certain topics. I'll give them an extempore. Okay, I'll make them speak, just pick a chit from a bowl, and whatever topic comes to them, they are going to speak in flawless English for, say, 1 minute. So through that, I'll be able to understand, okay, he has good fluency in English, he has good word power, good pronunciation. So for me, he is a fast learner. Okay, but if the students are fumbling, if the students are like taking stop, for, or if they are engaged in, say, mental activity and they are not able to utter a single word, they are searching for, say, words, they are brooding to think about the ideas which they can express on that topic, that means they are not that well read, they are not that expressive, they don't have knowledge. So for me, they are not good performers, so I'll treat them as slow learners. So that is my strategy. Okay, so it will differ from the teacher to teacher, it will vary according to, from subject to subject and students to student. Okay, now what are the strategies? So for slow learners, once we have identified them, once we have made them sit in a separate class after proper counseling, because see, it's not something new, they are already exposed to it. Like even in set 12 standard classes, they know that if you take Allen, or if you take other courses, other resonance and all the tuition classes which are there in abundance in the market, hmm, they categorize the student that, okay, this lot it is of IIT, okay, this lot is good for, say, NITs, this lot it is good for private colleges. So they categorize the student, they make separate sitting arrangement for them. Okay, so they are going to work extensively for all the categories. I'm not saying that they only focus on, say, the fast learner, but their approach is different. For the fast, so slow, average, brilliant, bright, the different type of learners, the approach is different. The same is the case with all of us, that we have to identify them and have an altogether different strategy of teaching. Okay, the way of approaching. Now, for slow learners, what you will do? Take remedial classes. Extra classes should be conducted. It can be of short duration, with appropriate focus on the subject oblique topic codes in which the students are found to be slow learners. Individual academic counseling to be done by the concerned subject teacher. You have to establish and rapport with them, and it's not that easy, because the teacher must have patience in dealing with them. Hmm? Patience is needed. Okay, it must be the highest quality in a teacher to understand the problem of the slow learners. You cannot give up. Hmm? You have to be very persistent. You have to develop a very good rapport. You have to develop this guardian relationship with the student. Okay, so at times if needed, give him a call him in your cabin, try to give counseling, try to counsel. If you think that your efforts are not like making any you are not able to see any changes in the behavior, then you can even tell the psychologist to counsel that particular student. Okay, students help desk must be set up, and students must be motivated also. Tell them, like when I was the counselor, this a bridge between these two people, na, students and teachers. I went to their classes personally. I told them, you see, it's not a taboo nowadays, because generally taboo is associated with counseling. So, as the teacher, you tell them, na, there is nothing wrong in seeking help. If you need somebody who will give you a good advice, who will extend a helping hand, the one who will be able to give you certain tips, how to improve your memory, how to do time management, how to deal with stress, hmm, how to become successful in life, then you can always go and have a word with the psychologist. Because see, these people, they are highly learned, they know how to tackle the issues. Okay, and they are ready to help you. So it's always better to seek help from them. So you have to go. I used to go to the students, to the classes, and tell them, "Ki, if you have any problem, or if you need to discuss any issue, come, don't hesitate. I'll take you to the counseling room." So the teachers have to take efforts for that. You cannot just send an say an attendant that, okay, the counseling, the sir or ma'am, whosoever is giving the counseling, he is in the medical room, and please send this notice that whosoever is interested go. That can't be done. You have to do it. You have to make the students go. You have to make the students shun their hesitation, overcome their inhibition. Okay, so that they'll go. And even fast learners can go and have a discussion with the counselor. Okay, that I want to do something best. I want to improve whatever mental faculties I have. You tell me certain tips. Okay, you give me certain challenges. So it's like counseling can be given to fast or slow learners, both of them. Okay, but it is needed, like in an academic institutes, is it's needed for the slow learners. Okay, now students study groups must be formed for peer to peer learning. Peer to peer, they learn it. Most of the times, like even mentor mentee system is there. So that is for the fast learner, wherein say 2 to 3 slow learner students, they can be grouped with one fast learner, and this one fast learner will teach the slow learner. Because what happens when when a teacher teaches, there is some hesitation on the part of the students to ask the difficulty. But if a student is teaching, they feel it good that, okay, they say they share the same age group. Okay, and it's better if they come across a difficulty, that difficulty can be very well addressed by this fast learner. Okay, so even study groups, they can be formed, and peer to peer learning can take place. Personal counseling should be done through mentoring scheme oblique teacher guardian scheme. This is a wonderful scheme, I tell you. We have it at our college. Like in my previous college, teacher guardian scheme was there. Even here it's there. So in teacher guardian scheme, generally what happens is 10 to 15 students, they are assigned the guardianship of a teacher. So one teacher, it's a teacher is responsible for the overall development of say 15 students. So we have to establish a rapport with them. What I used to do is I used to create a WhatsApp group of all these 15 students who were my whose teacher guardian I was. Teacher guardian scheme, that is, you have to play the role of a guardian to them. At times, if they are disheartened, at times, if they are suffering from any complex or maybe poor performance, help them out. have a word with them. So in the timetable itself, few slots they can be allotted. We had done it here in our college, that we had allotted few slots for the slow learners, okay, for the TG scheme. So in the teacher Gaje scheme, what happens is the teachers, they have a talk with their um, students, allotted students, and then they discuss, they give feedback that we are not able to understand maths, there is some difficulty in engineering graphics, will you please convey it to them. Then on behalf of those students, I had a conversation, I had a word with that particular subject teacher, that ma'am, please, my this student of mine is not able to understand, will you please take some extra efforts for him. So that can be done. So a teacher guardian role, it's a very crucial role, it's a very important role in bringing about a change in the student. So if they are facing homesickness, if they are facing any issues, so even the teacher guardian can play the role of a counselor for them. I created a WhatsApp group, I used to send them morning messages, motivational videos can be sent to them, and it should be used purely for the benefit of the student. Okay, so even students, you can see a change in the attitude of the student. If they are negative, they become positive gradually. Okay, so that is the importance of a TG scheme. Now, this is one of the strategy. Other strategies are, weak students are identified by class teacher and subject teacher on basis of their performance in Cat 1 and Cat 2. We have discussed this. Separate section will be formed after Cat 2 for improvement of weak students. Don't wait till second assessment. After first assessment itself, the formation must take place, because there's hardly any time left. There is 3 months. One semester will comprise of, say, teaching will take place for 2.5 months. That's it. So the teacher must do proper time management. Okay, and for that purpose, what needs to be done is, when you start, like first year students, when they take admission, it's always better to form the section on the basis of the PCM, physics, chemistry, maths. PCM group, whatever they have scored, divided the class accordingly. So the first section will be like, it will already be a cream section. That is of fast learners, I'm saying. Then section B, a mix of, say, fast and slow learners. C, slow learners. D, slow learners. Okay, so the roll number 1, and the same strategy, it can be continued till final year. That is, once the student, whatever marks he scores, say in the university examination first year. So if he is from, say, computer science branch, so CSC people, they'll categorize, they'll give the roll numbers to the student based on their marks, and tell the students there is no harm in it. So roll number 1 is going to be brilliant, fast learner. Roll number 30, that means in between fast and slow. So the teacher will get to know already, okay, but this is a fast learner, this is a slow learner. But then I told you that it will vary according to the subject. So maybe roll number 30, if he is a combo of fast and slow, but he may be a fast learner in some other subject. Okay. So senior faculty, next is senior faculty members are appointed as subject teachers for weak section. So for weak section, it's always better to give the classroom teaching to senior faculty members, because their expertise, their experience, their way of handling the slow learners, it's going to be of great benefit for the students. Okay. Timetable of 2 hours classes must be prepared for week section. It's better that you have a focused approach. Instead of teaching them 6 units, just teach them 3 to 4 units, limit it to 4. Give them the questions which are continuously, like repeatedly asked in the university question paper. Make them solve it. That can be done, but you have to convince the higher authorities that please don't tell us to complete the entire course for them. We'll focus only on completion of 4 units. Okay. Then weak students are assisted with mentoring. Continuous follow-up taken regarding irregularity of student with parents. Now, once you will form the slow learners class, you will come across a lot many problems. That is, students, they won't attend the classes. You will have to counsel the slow learners. Okay, so again, these issues, family disorganization, alcoholism, then ailments, lower IQ level, all these you will be able to understand once you categorize them. So then you have to be in continuously, you have to be in touch with the parents as well as the students. Motivate them, tell them to attend the classes. Okay, mentor them. Hmm? Contact with their parents, tell them that it is for the benefit of the students. Okay, then they can be assisted with mentoring, remedial classes, and individual attention can be given. Continuous counseling of students must be done through teacher, guardian, subject teacher, and psychological counseling has to be carried out. Okay. Now, strategies for slow learners. Efforts are to be taken to develop interest in students' learning subject by discussion with students. Discuss it with them. hmm, Give them the time to learn. Your focus shouldn't be only on imparting the subject knowledge, but you have to think whether it has like synced in. Okay, whether the student has received it. Okay, then increase the student participation in classroom to engage students. It will build their confidence, it will boost their morale. It will help in clearing their doubts. Okay, and then easy subject notes should be provided to them. Give them extra example. This is the methodology which you are applying. Okay, designing different methods. Hmm? Students are given a problem at the end of a class to solve individually or in group. Continuous practice of important questions are taken. I told you, repeatedly asked questions in the universities. Those should be given for practice. And university question papers are should be solved. There's a grammatical mistake. Or get solved nahi honga wo. It will be university question papers must be solved from the students. Okay, they should be told to solve it. These two slides we have already seen. Now I come to the index for slow learners file. You have to maintain it. What will it comprise of? What strategy you had for improvement of weak student? The timetable, the attendance sheet, sample notes which you provided them, detention list based on their attendance, medical certificate undertaking if they are suffering from some ailment, some physical problem, telephonic interaction with the parent. When did you interact with the parent? On which particular day? At what time? Hmm? What was the outcome of that interaction? What was the outcome of it? The remarks. You have to maintain it properly. Okay. And the university result of those students. So that can be in the file. Now the teaching learning process. Okay. Here are certain learning methods which are given and the tools which are used, because the teacher must know the innovations also in teaching learning process. I'll quickly go through the slides because I have total 28 slides are there. So learning methods, classroom teaching. Tool is again the classroom, blackboard, chalk, and this board method. Experimental field learning, practical learning. It's actually learning by doing. These are some of the teaching learning process. Okay, and I'm talking about designing new process for learning, which will change according to the learner. So industrial visit, internship, training programs are given. Then problem solving learning, tutorials we have, and assignments are to be given. Participative learning, in form of projects can be given, case study, group discussions, and presentation by the students. Okay. Now, teaching learning process in brief. See, classroom, every faculty delivers lectures. We have teaching plan. We know how to start the lecture, how to conclude it, what paragraph, what grammar, what graphics we are going to use. And the learning material is already provided to the student. So this is a regular feature. Experimental and the field learning is conducted to get the practical knowledge. Problem solving learning, it happens in the tutorial classes. So now in the tutorial, the class is divided into 2 batches. So first batch will comprise of, say, if 60 students are there, 1 to 30 will be in T1, 31 to 60 will be in T2, right? So we know that 1 to 30, they are fast learners. They'll be able to do the problem solving task quickly. And then second batch, it's going to take some more time, okay? And analytical skills, the problem solving skills of the students, they are going to be assessed. Collaborative and participative learning. So this takes place generally through debates, through group discussion, case studies, projects. And what happens through the participative learning? The students, they get a chance to interact with each other, to know each other, and to share their views, to express their thoughts, their ideas, their opinions. So they are given a chance to express themselves in participative or a collaborative type of learning. Okay, and students' interest is also generated, because generally collaborative and participative learning, it's an active learning process where the students are actively engaged in the learning process. Okay, now we come to the advanced learners. Slow learners, I have dealt with them. Now the advanced learners. You can guide them for career planning. Okay, focus on slow learner is to make them score marks. It is imparting knowledge for marks sake. Now here for advanced learner, it is giving knowledge for knowledge sake. You must be able to make this differentiation. Knowledge for knowledge sake, or knowledge for wisdom's sake, rather, in case of advanced learners, fast learners. And knowledge for marks sake, it will be for the slow learners. Okay, so advanced learner, you guide them, help them for their career planning. Make them write research papers, discussions on seminars, conduct discussion seminars on advanced topics. Okay, so basically we have at PIT, we had their knowledge center, and even in VNIT, I'm going to start a knowledge center for the students, because generally it's a very good platform for the students to explore their hidden potentials, to explore their hidden talents, okay, to explore their creativity, to explore what they are good at, best at. So in knowledge center, there are two things. One is the knowledge clinic wherein slow learners will be there. Okay, and another is a knowledge center wherein knowledge will be there for the wisdom's sake. So over there, what will happen is the fast learners, they'll be given provided a platform wherein they'll be able to unleash their talents, wherein they'll be able to develop their skills. So you can make them, you can guide them to write a research paper. Okay, give them challenging tasks, make them write articles, make them write or give seminars on difficult topics. Okay, on topics like, say, on electronics, if the student is from electronic, let him give a seminar on, say, robotics. Let him talk, if he is from mechanical engineering, giving some topic from automobile sector, and let him study. Let him come up with meaningful, very good quality material. Ask him to download n number of papers, read it. So what you are doing is, you are channelizing the potential of the fast learners. Make them write papers. Okay, so enriching them, you are enriching the fast learners. Research paper reading and discussion or seminar on advanced topics can be given to the fast learners. Guiding and encouraging communicating research papers in conference and journals. Make them like, okay, go participate in different activities. You can go to this institute, you can participate in, say, NITs, competitions which are organized by IITs. Tell them to do that. Okay, after that, guide them for competitive exams. Training programs should be there, which will give them the advanced technical know-how. They are encouraged to participate in various symposiums like quiz, poster presentation, conference, inter-institution competition, etc. And wherever you will send them, Ask them to bring they'll bring laurels to your institute, they'll get first or the second rank. Hmm? Or if at all, like partiality and all, you have to keep it aside, okay, but at least they'll get to learn something, some new thing. They'll be able to do networking with the students of different institutes. You will be providing them a chance, giving them a platform wherein they'll do interaction with students of different institutes. So what happens is it leads to their developmental process, their personality develops, okay, because of this exposure. And even for the NBA and NAC, you have to maintain the certificates of the student, whatever rank they have scored. All these things you have to maintain in a proper file. So there will be a separate file for fast learners and for the slow learner. Okay. Now these students, they are encouraged to participate in various symposiums, okay, competitions, conferences. So they'll represent your college, they'll bring laurels to your college, they'll be the shining stars of your institute. And the role of a teacher is very important in guiding those students. Okay, it's equally important in case of slow learners and the fast learners. So institutes must not have discriminating attitude towards the students. All the students must be placed on equal platform with all human values. Now, what are the strategies for advanced learners? Teaching strategies. Beyond syllabus topics must be taught. Don't limit yourself on completing only 6 units. Tell them something beyond syllabus. Extensive reading must be done, not selective. Mentor-mentee system, which I talked about, that one bright student, a fast learner, will be giving lecture to the or teaching the mentee. Okay, mentor-mentee. 4 to 5 slow learners. Student club in charges. The fast learners can be made in charge of students club. They should be told to enhance their skills. This is an era of skill development. Okay, companies, multinational companies, the recruiters, the HR people, they want people who are highly skilled. So no matter if they are, say, MSc graduates or they are BE, they have done their engineering, but if they have skill, they have a place. They have a place at the top. That's because of their skill development. So don't limit the fast learners to only imparting the university syllabus. Make them learn courses on their own from Udemy, Coursera to enhance their skills. Like I told you, during the lockdown, I have done several courses from Udemy, and one was from the psychology, understanding the psychology of the teenagers. So the students, they can learn. If they are computer science students, they can go for coding, they can go for the languages. Electronics engineers, metallurgy, mining, okay, chemical engineering students, they can go for courses from Udemy. They can get certificate courses. Even like few of my students, they are writing books. So the teachers find it difficult to compile a book, but the students are doing that. Okay, what they are doing is they are using technology. They are using the plethora of material which is available on the net, reading it, doing extensive reading, and are coming up with wonderful results. So they can be in the knowledge center, these fast learners. The teachers can concentrate their efforts on these fast learners. Okay, so motivate them, guide them. So these students, they are writing books and articles. Now what the teacher is supposed to do, the teacher must involve innovation and creativity in teaching learning. Okay, so teaching learning innovation supports to step outside of traditional boundaries of student teaching to improve the student learning. The focus is the students must learn. Objective is simple: make the students learn. Okay, so different pedagogical approaches can be there for making the process interesting. Now we have Google Classrooms, we have Google Forms, we are giving them Google quizzes. This is what the new normal is. Okay, and even the teachers, so you are making them tech savvy, right? And even the teachers, they can apply for grants from AICTE. Like I got a grant of 7 lakh, which sir has mentioned in my introduction. It's SPDC, soft skill and personality development skills. for SC/ST students in my college. Okay, so what happens is when you get skills, when you get grants, you get money. You get money to set up centers. You get money which can be utilized for the betterment of the slow learners and the fast learners. Okay, and whenever the medium is virtual, like I've written there, though the medium is virtual, but the spirit must be genuine. So don't think like even now I'm discussing with you. I'm not giving you a lecture. I'm discussing the issues. I'm sharing my experiences with you all. Okay, and the mode is this through the portal. Okay, through internet. Through Wi-Fi connectivity, we all are able to connect. But even though the medium is virtually, we are connected, but the spirit behind this is genuine. And the same spirit I understand, with the same spirit, the organizers, they have organize this STTP. The spirit is genuine. Okay, now innovation and creativity I've mentioned over there, knowledge center. So various activities can be conducted under knowledge center. Bouncer board, students presentation can be conducted. The technical quiz can be taken. Open book test can be conducted for the slow and fast learner. It is a center for both of them. Give them group discussion, crosswords. Okay, make the students discuss on particular few issues and come up with the analysis, the application, the working. Students are given real world examples like working models for better understanding of topics. Okay, then advanced topics must be taught. Questions from competitive GATE examination are included in the question bank of the relevant subjects. Partial delivery of syllabus by visiting adjunct faculty. Don't think that you have to complete, you are completing the entire syllabus, no doubt, but you can even invite experts in those particular area from outside, so that the students, they gain some extra knowledge. Okay, so it's always better to have visiting faculties or say guest lectures which can be arranged for the students. Use of video lectures of experts from IITs, NPTEL, Swayam. Okay, that's a very good practice. So Udemy, Coursera, NPTEL. Innovative practicals are conducted like virtual lab sessions from IIT Bombay. That is also easily available. Make them conduct the practicals. Okay, virtual lab. So you can set up the virtual lab and make the students do the practical. It's a good exercise for the fast learners also. Activity lab. Then student group should be from among the students for encouraging peer-to-peer learning. This we have discussed, wherein academically poor performing students, they can gain certain, they can get benefit from it. Okay, now I come to the last slide, that is the conclusion. So far we have discussed identifying slow and fast learners, the strategies which you have to design for imparting technical quality education. Okay, so the conclusion, the teacher's role is not only of a teacher. The teacher must be a mentor, a guide, and a facilitator to achieve the desired goal. We cannot carry on with the traditional role of a teacher. We have to make changes in our style of teaching. Okay, focus must be on knowledge for knowledge sake and not for knowledge for marks sake. Only then the vision of imparting quality technical education with values will be accomplished. We have to tell them about the professional ethics, about the ethics, the values, the norms which come up with the particular subject. Okay, you have to make them aware of that. So a teacher's task, it is multidimensional. The role is multidimensional. Okay, and for that you also must have a multifaceted personality. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks to the organizers. Thank you to Abhijit Dehadrai sir, and thank you all. Okay, for your patient listening. And I'm not able to see you all, but still I hope that you will benefit from this discussion.
Thank you so much, Maithili ma'am. Sunil sir, if you will please once confirm if I am audible.
Yeah,
Yes.
sir, you're audible.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. So, on behalf of the organizing committee of this faculty development program and also on behalf of Ballarpur Institute of Technology, I thank you, Maithili ma'am, for such a thorough and well organized session, wherein, along with experiences, you also shared the formats to improve results. The material was very interesting and truly inspiring. I am sure that it will be easy for me now to diagnose the issues of students and identify the category of students so as to take remedial action, And today's session was also special because it focused on two fronts at the same time. One is, of course, how to help both fast and slow learners to perform better, while on the other front, how will this approach help us draft documents to comply with the requirements of committees like NAC and NBA? So we most certainly look forward to applying these techniques learned today and become a guide and mentor, just as you concluded in your session. Once again, thank you so much, Dr. Maithili Paikane ma'am, for being with us
Thank you.
for this session.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
For us too, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. So
And
I'll leave the meeting now. Okay.
yes, yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Dear attendees, you are requested to fill in an online feedback form that will be shared shortly on the WhatsApp group. The form can be filled until 11 p.m. tonight, post which the form will close automatically. In case of any queries, you can get in touch with the coordinator of this faculty development program, Professor Sunil Kuntawar sir, or co-coordinator of this faculty development program, Professor Ashish Manusmane sir. We will now take a break and resume the session at 3:30 p.m. as scheduled. You are requested to join us by 3:20 p.m. so that we can start the session at 3:30 p.m. You can join the session using the same link that was used to join now. So see you soon at 3:30 p.m. 3:20 p.m. Thank you.